Look at the world right now. We are living through an era defined by the accelerating pace of technological innovation, mass migration, and increasing urbanization. Our cities are growing denser, and the pressing reality of global climate change shapes our daily decisions. Inside the workplace, rigid structures are collapsing. The modern workforce expects shared decision-making responsibilities, operating within flat and open organizations where power is heavily decentralized down to the individual. Driven by this heightened social and environmental awareness, business aims are shifting. Companies are increasingly moving away from purely profit-driven motives in favor of purpose-driven goals. Yet, when we look at how we prepare people for this dynamic world, we see this photograph. A static, standardized curriculum delivered to children sitting in rows of perfectly aligned desks. We are trying to navigate a fluid, hyper-connected society using an educational architecture designed for a completely different century. The defining characteristic of our current era is interdependence, a complex web of global connections that the rigid, traditional school structure simply was not built to handle. The classroom we inhabit today is a physical legacy of the 19th century, a structural response to an era with very different economic demands. The 19th century was defined by intense civil wars, colonialism, and imperialism. It was an age driven by mass production, made possible through rapid new inventions. During this period, our relationship with both human labor and the natural environment was defined by exploitation. Resources were extracted at scale, and massive human effort was required to keep the industrial machines running. This new industrialized economy required a continuous influx of compliant workers. To produce this specific workforce, societies established universal public schooling. This diagram illustrates their specific solution, a standardized curriculum for repetitive jobs. The classroom layout directly mirrored the assembly line. This model prioritized uniformity and rote memorization over individual thought. The ultimate goal was identical outputs. The 19th century school system functioned as a highly successful, perfectly calibrated mechanism to manufacture the exact type of worker its economy demanded. The 20th century brought the disruption of 2 world wars, followed by a massive wave of decolonization and the restoration of independence for many nations, captured in photographs like this one. Economies and cultures became increasingly connected. Globalization became the hallmark of the era, linking markets across oceans and borders. Late in the century, computers and the internet arrived. Electronics and finance sectors grew rapidly, using machines like the one in this image to automate manual tasks and increase public access to information. In response to these sweeping changes, the education system tried to adapt by expanding its existing purpose. As seen in this expo display, schools started adding new disciplines and introducing the concept of individual fulfillment to the old model. But despite layering on new subjects and acknowledging the individual student, the foundational architecture was exactly the same. The classroom remained entirely closed off from the outside world. Returning to the present, we see the old relationship with the environment, one of extraction and exploitation, giving way to a new recognition of interdependence. We are operating with a new awareness. Humanity finally recognizes that its own well-being is completely dependent on the well-being of the planet. Navigating pressing climate realities alongside the ethical challenges of global digital communication, represented by this networked interface, requires a different type of human intelligence. The OECD proposes a direct solution. Education systems must move past the static grid to implement flexible, dynamic curricula. This provides tailored tools to help individual students reach their unique potential. Schools must dissolve isolated borders, becoming open hubs of collaboration within their communities. To survive and thrive in an uncertain future, updating what we teach is not enough. We must dismantle the industrial factory model entirely and build open, purpose-driven ecosystems of learning.